Coming up next is the Actors by Actors show. Today's episode is sponsored by Motion Pictures Imaginary Studios, creating film art for filmmakers.
Hello and welcome, I'm Arek Zasowski, and this is the Actors by Actors show. Tonight, I'm joined by an award-winning actor, writer, and producer, Thom Michael Mulligan. Let's have a look at a few clips.
Tell me there's no one else. Tell me I'm wrong. Help me. Tell me.
It's become too ordinary with you.
Ordinary? What are you talking about? Where's my loving Mariella? Where the hell are you?
Don't move! We're leaving, Bill.
Don't move! Don't move! Yeah. Now you're leaving, huh? After this, after traumatizing everyone?
Bill, no.
What? So you come back anytime you like and assault my daughter and my grandson?
Bill, no, Bill, you know me. Come on.
I know the front, the show.
What, Bill, you think everybody's got it out for her? What, the courts, the therapists, everybody?
Because you were lying to them.
Bill, I get it. I understand that this is your daughter, Bill, but...
I wanted to talk to you about the timeline before John got killed.
Sure. Anything I could do to help?
Great. But it seems we have a little problem with the doorman changing his tune. We questioned him originally. He was afraid he'd get in trouble for leaving his post. Now it seems he stepped away about 11:24 p.m. up until around the time the lights go off. Just enough time for the killer to go up on the service elevator without being noticed. Well, I think you noticed me first.
No. I think you noticed me first.
No, I think I looked up and saw you noticing me.
No. I saw you noticing me first.
Really, is that so? Well, I was doing business on my cell phone and I looked up and saw you smiling at me. I do these counseling sessions for Pastor Glenn voluntarily. Don't get paid for it, but I'm here for them, for you, and for God Almighty himself.
In position.
On your command, Eagle One.
All right, boy. Let's kick their ass.
Ready to engage.
Do you remember the story in the Bible about the harlot? She probably had a good heart, but she was a whore just like you. Now get this. Christ said to her accusers, "Let you without sin cast the first stone." And her accusers walked away and dropped their rocks. What are you doing now?
Nothing. Just watching you.
It's pretty bad.
Welcome, Thom. Thank you for joining us tonight for this exciting second episode of the Actors by Actors show.
Well, thank you so much, Eric. Thank you for inviting me on your show. I'm very happy and excited to be here, and looking forward to spending some time here with you and your audience this evening.
Thom, I've been following your acting career for some time, and I remember that was about 2 years ago. I was in Las Vegas at the premiere of The Witching Hour, and by the way, congratulations, great film. And that was where we met, right?
Yes, yeah, that's right, Eric. It was in Las Vegas at the Silver State Film Festival, and that's where we met, and it was great to meet you there. It was a lot of fun, if you remember. It was a lot of fun. And Lizette Ben Ray and I had a great screening of The Witching Hour there. And like I said, it was a great festival and a lot of fun to be there and be a part of it.
I know that you've been acting for many years. Can you tell us more about your acting career and also what kept you motivated throughout the years that may also help younger generation of actors?
Yes, Eric. Actually, I started acting in New York City when I was a kid. I grew up in Hell's Kitchen, Chelsea area. And when I was about 7 years old, my mom, who was a theater actress back then, had an audition for a play at the Hudson Guild Theater. And she said, "Hey, Tommy, I want you to come with me. I want you to see what this is like." So I went with my mom. And anyway, she got cast in the play. And then there was a role for a kid, so I got cast in the play as her son in the play. And it was pretty cool, pretty fun. It was a play called Street Scene. And my very first acting line at 7 years old was, "Hey, Ma, give me a dime. I want to buy a cone." And I wound up doing another two plays with my mom. And then I wound up getting cast in 3 other plays on my own. People saw me in those plays and then cast me separately. And so one of the plays I did was a play called 6 Characters in Search of an Author, a Pirandello play, also at the Hudson Hill Theater. Anyway, by the time I hit 10 years old, I was more focused on sports and baseball, hockey, basketball. My big dream really was to be a Major League Baseball player. And I was a pitcher, and I actually had an offer to sign with the Dodgers in 1971, a free agent contract to go to A-ball, but I didn't do it, and it's too long of a story to get into here, but anyway, so I kind of came close. But then when I turned 30, I guess the seed for acting had always been there, and I just decided on the spur of the moment that I was going to move back into New York City and start acting, and that was January of 1980. And I started taking classes, and I started working on the soaps, all the different soaps in New York, getting a lot of under 5s, and then some day players here and there occasionally. And then, like I said, taking all kinds of classes and doing quite a few commercials. And one of my favorites was a national commercial I did for Coke Tylenol in 1983 as a hockey player. That was pretty cool and pretty fun to do, to combine my acting and my hockey talent together. And then I kept taking classes there in New York and doing some plays, and that was my main focus. I was doing a lot of plays, going from one play to the next, and that was my biggest focus back then, doing as much theater as I could. And then I had a job. This was kind of a key moment for me back then. I had a job at a restaurant. I was a maitre d', and this woman, Kathy Connors, this very nice lady who's an actress, worked there. And one night she said to me, "Hey, I want to talk to you." So we sat down, and she said to me, "Hey, listen, Thom, what do you want to do, basically? You want to be a great actor, or you want to be a movie star?" And I said, "Well, I don't know. I just want to, I want to work. She said, "Well, here's the thing. You got the looks, and you have the charisma, and you kind of have that it factor to be a movie star. But the thing is, movies, sometimes you could be a shooting star and a fading star. On the other hand, if you work at being a really good actor, you might have a different career and a longer career." Anyway, so she said, "Look, you got to decide right now. You want to be a movie star or an actor? What is it? What are you going to do?" And I just said to her right there, and this was probably around 1980, around 1982 or so. I said, "Yeah, you know what? I want to be a really good actor." So she said, "Well, then, do theater, keep taking classes, keep developing, working." And that's what I did. That's what I did. So I got on that path, and it was just about trying to become the best actor I could. And eventually I made my way out to to California in 1994. and I've been here over 25 years now, and working on a lot of feature films, a lot of short films, doing some commercials here and there, and then in this last year, and actually in 2020, I had one of my best years. I worked on about 9 feature films and a number of short films as well, and that was pretty exciting this past year. Definitely worked with some great people, some great talented actors and actresses, and great crew and things like that. Dustin Ferguson, I've been in a number of his films. He's an award-winning writer-director, and he actually cast me in, the last film was Amityville in the Hood. He cast me in the lead role, and in that film, and that will be coming out maybe in somewhere around April or May. So I'm looking forward to that. And I've been in a number of other great indie feature films and working with some great directors, great people. So I've been pretty lucky and blessed in this past year as far as that goes. And also, again, meeting my friend Lizette Ben Ray in my acting workshop at Halo Cinematic in San Diego 4 years ago. And we wound up doing The Witching Hour. And then also we did another short film called Noticed, about a couple who meet and get into a debate over who noticed who first, kind of a romantic comedy. That was a lot of fun to do. I have some great things coming up in the future. I've got a number of pretty big feature film possibilities that I can't really talk about right now, but very excited about those things, and when I can, when the time comes, I will share about those as well. But as far as younger actors just starting out, I would say think about why you're doing it. Why are you acting? What is it about acting? I mean, because you can act anywhere. You can do local community theater in the town you live in, right? For that matter. But it just depends what you want to do. But I would say get started, do some community theater. Get on stage, see if you really like it. And then if you want to get into film, one of the best ways is to do student films. And usually where people live, wherever you live, whatever state, city you live in, there's usually a college around that's got a film department. Go in there and make yourself available and say, yeah, I'd like to work on your films. And that would be a good way to get started and get experience. And by the way, those are not easy to get either. It's very hard to get student films as well, because students want to make the best film they can make for their class because they're getting graded, right? So they want to get the best actors and actresses they can get as well. So that would be a really good way to start, and then kind of branch out from there. But the thing is, you got to know going in, this is a really tough business, really tough industry. I would say 99% of the people are never going to be A-list actors or, make it really big. But the thing is, I think the goal should be to try and be a working actor, okay? A working actor, and get paid for your talent and let the chips fall where they may from there. In other words, do the work, become the best actor or actress you can be, or whatever else if you're gonna be a director, a writer, whatever, a producer, do it the best you can, and then let the industry decide, let people decide what, where your talent is and, where you're really going to go with it. And the thing is, you have to really love it and really want to do it, because it can be very frustrating. I will admit, there were many times when I was going to give up. I'd wake up and go, you know what, I'm so done with this. I'm not getting another headshot. I'm not taking another class. This is just crazy, And then inevitably the call comes and it's like, hey, Tom, got this role for you in this film, and blah, blah, blah. And so, you go and do it, and then, you get right back into it. And the truth is, when I get to do it, I love doing it. I love being on set. I love trying to see if I can create a character. And the big goal really is to make it believable. Can I be believable? Can I pull this off? Can I, create a real character that adds to the story? I mean, to me, that's the thrill and challenge of acting. You know what I mean? And then being in that moment, when you get up there, is to be in that moment and really be there and be in the scene when you have those kind of moments where you know where it's organic and you're right in the middle of it, you're in it, it's just like the best feeling in the world. So I would say just, if that's your goal, is to be an actor, then go for it, do it. And start, like I said, start locally, start doing community theater. Give yourself a shot to get on stage or do a student film and see how it feels, see how much you really like it. But to really make it, to really do it, to really get somewhere, you have to be at it all the time. Okay? I mean, you're not going to go from A to Z. You might go from A to D, you might go from D to K. You might make some jumps here and there, but basically it's a process that takes time. And to me, that's the best way to go about it. Look at it as a process, enjoy it, enjoy the journey, and go from there.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing, Thom. Now, thinking about your current work, are you working on some exciting projects that you can share with us?
Yes, I have this other feature film project that I've been attached to called Julia Stiles. It's a romantic comedy road trip chick flick from writer-director Sandra A. Smith and Tiger Eye Entertainment. And I've been cast in a role as a director, a really cool role in it. And I think this is going to be a pretty funny, fun film. It's going to be filming in LA, New York, and I believe New Orleans, Louisiana. Scheduled to start in 2021. So I'm really looking forward to this project and working with Sandra and Elise Hollywood Evans. It's going to be a lot of fun. So.
That sounds really exciting, Thom. Good luck with that. Now, thinking about your past acting projects, can you tell us which one is your favorite one and why?
Well, there's two sides to this coin. There's film and theater. I did a lot of theater, especially when I was back east. And I did two plays that were on my bucket list, so to speak. One was The Crucible, an Arthur Miller play, to play the lead role of John Proctor, which I did on the East Coast, and then also Death of a Salesman, which I got to do as well, another Arthur Miller play, and got to play Willie Loman when I was about 42 years old. But in terms of film and in general, I'd say my favorite film project has been the one I wrote, The Witching Hour, with my writing and producing partner, Lizette Ray. We met at an acting workshop about 4 years ago here in California, and I had this basic idea for a short film, and I presented it to her, and it's from an incident that happened in my childhood when I was about 5 years old, growing up in New York City with my mom and dad. My dad was a longshoreman, and he came home real late after midnight one Christmas Eve, and it was after midnight. My mom called it the witching hour. Anyway, not to get into that whole thing, but it was based on that moment where, like I said, he came in late after midnight. My mom was worried, and he walked in, and she said, "Where were you?" And he said, basically, "None of your business." And then she said, "Well, it's the witching hour." And I never forgot that. And so I presented that to Lizette to do the short film based on what happened between my mom and dad. And Lizette and I, she loved the idea, and we wound up sitting down and writing it together, writing the whole thing, producing it, and co-starring in it. And basically it was a memorial to my mom and dad, and also a memorial to Lizette's mother as well. And it was a great experience, wonderful experience. It did really well. We won awards at film festivals. Lizette won a Best Actress award at the Golden State Film Festival. I won a Best Actor award at the Marina Del Rey Film Festival. And it was just a great experience to work with Lizette, who's immensely talented and extremely, extremely nice to work with. And then some of my other friends, Ryan Bishop, and some other people, we got together and made this film. So I would say that's definitely my favorite film experience so far. And of course, a lot of other films I've done, feature films and things that I've worked on, I love those as well. But this one was more personal and close to my heart.
So that was the past. Now thinking about the future, you know, Tom, I'm always fascinated to find out how we actors see ourselves. So now thinking about it, if you had a magic wand and you could cast yourself in a dream project, what would that be? And you know, who knows, maybe some studio executive is watching this show right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of different ones actually. They're sort of similar, but kind of an action hero role, like Liam Neeson in the Taken series of movies, where he's a detective and he's trying to right wrongs and things like that, take down the bad guy. I could see myself in a role like that, or the other one is one of my all-time favorite movies, Road Warrior from George Miller. Came out in the early 80s with Mel Gibson, and I think that was a movie that made him a huge star. Anyway, a role like that, and it's a very futuristic apocalyptic movie about the apocalypse, and the only real commodity left in the world is gas. Everyone's after gas and fuel. So a character like that, kind of a quiet loner, but you know, taking on the world kind of a thing. So those kinds of roles would be pretty cool. I actually just finished a film here called Night Hunter, a feature film, and I got to work with writer-director Raul Uriola and executive producer Liana Uriola. And it's a very edgy crime drama, and it was a very different kind of character for me. I've never done a character like this, very over the edge, very edgy, very emotional, very deep. So I kind of got to fulfill that in this movie that's going to be coming out in I think late March, early April. So so it'd be like kind of an action hero, anti-hero guy who, you know, takes down the bad guys.
Fascinating, Tom. I'll keep my fingers crossed. So now, let's step away from acting for a moment and let's play a quick game. I'd like to get to know you a little bit better. So I ask question, you pick one answer. Ready? Your favorite vacations, mountains or beach?
Well, yes, my favorite beach would be Oceanside, California, right here where I live. It's a beautiful area. I've lived here for about 14 years. Love the beach, love the sand, the way the beach is angled, the pier, the wonderful pier out there, where the waves break, little inlets and things like that. So yes, definitely love Oceanside, and I definitely would say that this is my favorite beach right here.
Your morning routine, eggs or porridge?
That would be eggs. I love eggs, and I usually have eggs every day, but also I have my kale shake every day. Kale, spinach, beets, carrots, blueberries, mangoes, pineapples, and all kinds of Chinese herbs and protein powders and everything else that I use. So that would be eggs and my kale shake every day.
Moving on to sport, ice hockey or football?
That would be hockey. Hockey's my favorite sport. I do like watching football, but it would definitely be hockey.
Watching or playing?
I definitely love to play, and I would rather be playing than watching, but I also love to watch hockey. And by the way, I was also a hockey coach right here in Oceanside, California for 15 years, coached Pee Wee hockey. So, but definitely love playing more than watching, but I also love to watch the game.
Now moving on to film, Western or drama?
That would be drama. I seem to gravitate more toward dramas as far as an actor in both film and stage. But I do love Westerns as well, love watching Westerns, and I've played in a few. But I think if given the choice, I'd probably choose a drama over a Western. But if it were a dramatic Western or had a really, really cool storyline, you know, I'd love to be in a Western as well. And I've done a couple of Westerns in my career, so and I would definitely be open to doing more Westerns.
Nice one, Tom. So now we know you like eggs for breakfast, you like going to the beach, and you enjoy ice hockey and drama. On that note, you know, about 3 years ago I was in LA at the Q&A session with one of famous actors, and one of the students asked him a question whether if he was able to meet his younger self, what one piece of advice he would give himself. and he said nothing just in case if I do something wrong. So now, Thom, if you were able to meet your younger self, what one piece of advice would you give yourself?
Well, I think I would do things a little differently than I did. Somehow I had this idea in my head back when I started in 1980, that if you were an artist, then you had to struggle to survive. You know what I mean? And I wish I'd done it a little differently. I wish I had stayed on a track of my day job and things like that. But went the route I did. But looking back on it, if I had to do over, I would have kept a really good regular day job and taken classes at night. But I thought, I took bartending jobs, waitering, catering, even clean houses, and I would definitely change that as far as that goes, and try to look at this more as a process. I think back then I was looking at more of trying to get a big break, the big jump, you know what I mean? And as I learned over the years, it's definitely more of a process. Again, I said earlier, you can't go from A to Z. You might be able to make some headway and some jumps here and there, but for the most part, it's a long process that you have to go through and developing, and there's so many factors in being a good actor. It's not just being an actor, it's other parts of your life and how you live your life and the things you learn along the way that add to you as an actor. And be open-minded, be open to what possibilities might be out there. I mean, for example, I never knew years ago, it never even occurred to me that I would be starting a film festival. And in 2009, a friend of mine and I, Doug Whipple, over a breakfast conversation about the industry, about the business, how hard it is, and talked about how hard it is to get noticed and things like that. Talked about the idea of a film festival. And anyway, when I came back from New Hope, from PA, where I used to live, came back to California, about a week later, Doug called me up and said, "Hey, Thom, I incorporated the New Hope Film Festival. Let's do it." And so for the next year, we spent a lot of time on the phone putting it together, and we launched the first New Hope Film Festival in 2010, and we're now heading into our 12th year here in 2021. So I would say I never would have thought I would be part of co-founding and starting a film festival. Never occurred to me until that breakfast conversation with Doug Whipple. And it's been a great 12 years, and the festival is doing really well. And I would just say, as young actors and talent, see where the process takes you. Do the process, get out there and do it, and be open to ideas and things, and you just never know what might come along. Again, I never would have thought about starting a film festival, but here we are in our 12th year. And again, with my friend Doug Whipple, who is the chairman and founder of the festival. And again, I helped to co-found it. I'm director of submissions for the festival. And actually, we're still taking submissions for the 2021 festival till the end of March. So that would be my main advice to young people would be just get out there and do it, and pursue your dream, and don't stay out of your own way. Don't get in your own way. I think we stop ourselves. We block ourselves a lot with our thinking about, negative thinking, about not thinking we can't do such a thing. Just, put it out there and try. The worst that can happen is it doesn't happen, or somebody says no. It doesn't matter. You go on to the next. And that's the other thing. You got to have a thick skin in this business, because most of it is rejection. Most of it is definitely rejection. So you got to have a thick skin, and you got to be able to get back up. And if it's what you want to do, just keep rolling. Keep going after it. Don't stop. If this is your dream, keep pursuing it.
Is there anything else that you think that might help new actors?
Well, I think the one piece of advice I would give to new actors or actresses starting out is to just do it. Just go for it. If it's what you want to do, if it's your dream, just do it. Don't hold back. Do it. Just Get out there and do it. Do plays. Go take classes. Do anything you can to get going with it. Just do it. That would be the best thing I would say. Just do it. If it's on your mind and it's something you think you'd like to do it. I'm not saying it's easy, but just get out there and do it.
Thom, it's been fantastic to have you on the show tonight. Now, before we go, could you share one of your favorite quotes with our viewers?
Okay, one of my favorite quotes would be not conformed to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. And that's a Bible quote from Romans. And that would definitely be one of my favorite quotes. There's a lot of meaning in it.
Thank you for sharing, Thom. It's been a great pleasure to have you on the show tonight, and I wish you all the best.
Well, thank you, Eric. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I really enjoyed this. It's really been a lot of fun, and I truly appreciate you having me be part of your show. Thank you so much.
Thom Michael Mulligan, everyone.
Bring joy to everyone. All the voices vanish after hearing such a lovely tune. In a world that's so imperfect, every word in the same music. You should change your name to beautiful. You should change your name to beautiful. Make tears impossible. I wish that I could have you with me every time I fall. In a world that's so imperfect, I know you will try to fix it. You should change your name to beautiful.
Coming up next,